know I have to wait a couple seconds. There we go. Okay, hi. How you doing, Marc? Today I'm
Good.
interviewing
How are you,
Marc
Warren?
Portner of Innovative Development. So, Marc, the first question is, as a consulting organization, how did COVID impact your contractors that you've placed in various organizations?
So it's a great question. I get asked that question a lot, and we really were very fortunate during the pandemic, especially in the heart of it, where because all of our clients enabled their resources, whether they be internal or contractual resources, to work externally, we were able to continue providing services to our clients with no reduction in service. Um, it was very fortunate because we know that there's many other companies and industries out there that suffered quite a bit during the heart of the pandemic. But we were fortunate that all of our resources were able to remain remote, continue to provide service, and to be transparent, we actually grew during the pandemic. A number of our clients had projects that they needed to do, and we actually added resources. We did remote interviewing, remote onboarding. We added them and then brought them into the clients. So,
That did you need to provide leadership to the consultants that were impacted by change, or did you not have really that much change for the consultants?
whereas in the past, maybe we would do a phone call to check in, or I would stop in, maybe have lunch with someone. This had to be more regular and consistent, right? With so much uncertainty in the world, people were obviously concerned about their future in the organization, future at the client, et cetera. So we had to make we purposely scheduled meetings and events to ensure that we were able to check in with people, really to create that feeling of, hey, everything's okay. We're going to get through this, and our clients are going to continue to work with us.
My last question kind of points towards the future, and that is with a lot of organizations that have had downsized due to COVID and restructuring to meet business needs. There seems to be, from what I'm hearing in the workforce, workers not wanting to make jumps or move, consultants not wanting to come on board as consultants, but rather be hired full time. How do you see, that in terms of, an organization and your leadership to make sure that we continue to serve, the consulting companies that you deal with, or the vendors or clients that you deal with as a consulting company?
Yeah, I think the pandemic's introduced a new model, right? Not just for consulting, but for all folks, whether they be employees or consultants or whatever, the types of engagements, contractual engagements they have with vendors and clients. I think the model has changed, right? And I believe it's changed for the better. So what does that mean? I think companies in general are going to have less of a real estate footprint. Several of our clients are already selling some of their buildings. And they are not going to ask their employees nor their consultants to come back on board face to face. You're going to see more hoteling, right? Where folks are going to be working shifts that might be 2 days in the office, 3 days virtual from home. Some of our clients are going all virtual from home and selling all of their offices. So what it's done is it's enabled people to have that virtual experience. I think most of our clients have seen that, again, whether it be their employees or the consultants that we provide, productivity is through the roof, right? I think initially people were concerned that they'd be home, they'd be distracted by, the many things in our homes that distract us, like chores, children, pets, the UPS man knocking at the door, whatever it might be. I think folks were concerned about that. And I think we've actually seen the opposite, right? Where people no longer have that commute time that they have to worry about. People aren't going and say into a cafeteria to have lunch, so they're going to make themselves some lunch and then sit back at their computer. We have found that productivity has been through the roof. So I think that most companies have adopted to this new model.
Mm-hmm.
And from a leadership, when you talk about the leadership perspective and what do we need to do, right? As we talk to folks, as we bring new folks on board, right, we have to make sure that they're comfortable in that model, right? Because the model could be you're on site, you're hybrid on site, sometimes on, sometimes off, or you're completely, off site, right? And folks have to be flexible. And I think that if you show flexibility with those individuals, they'll show that flexibility back, and that's been our experience so far. We see that some companies are starting to transition back into a hybrid approach into the office, and I think that most of our team members like the flexibility of say, let's say we'll use the hybrid model as an example, right? Where a couple days in the office, a couple days at home. And I think that's a good mix. And I think that's where the model is going to go.
Super.
And, just one last point from that leadership perspective, right? You have to adapt to it as well, right? And not be rigid and make sure that your environment fosters that to help enable it for the client as well.
I look forward to further discussions.
Sounds great. Thanks, Warren.